Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the wait. We're now here with the King of New York 8. I'm here joined by Sleepy Mau Mau, and we're going to be here today to talk about all the Tekken madness that's going to be happening today. So, Mau Mau, maybe introduce yourself a little bit and then, tell us about, how excited you are to commentate this event.
Well, yeah, first of all, my name is Mau Mau. You can call me by the full legal Sleepy Mau Mau.
Like
Sleepy
it.
or Mau Mau works. Just never call me Chris. Don't ever just call me Chris. That's the only thing I got. This is my first foray into the just commentating over fighting games in general. So I'm pretty excited, and I'm really excited since I've been playing Tekken since Tekken 3. Not to say I've been playing, but you know what I mean? Like a little bit of button mashing anyway back when, and now it's like now I'm like I really want to get into it, so I'm really excited. And everybody, I hope y'all are nice to me. If y'all got anything to say to maybe improve myself as a player or commentator, feel free to drop it in the comments and the not the comments, the stream chat.
Yeah. So I'm sure Stream Chat will treat us pretty well. And today, with our commentary style, right, I'm going to do a little bit of excitement, but we're also just here to talk about the game we all know and love. Tekken 8 right now, 2 months in. I think everyone's, there's obviously its ups and downs, but I think mostly everyone is very much enjoying the game, and the changes that have been made to the gameplay itself has pretty much gotten everyone very interested. I like to think of this as probably one of the first Tekkens with a wide scope of like public attention. You got some big content creators or other people who are trying Tekken for the first time. So if this is your first time not only witnessing Tekken but also enjoying Tekken 8, then you're in the right place, because there's many other people who are starting out here like that too. So you know what, just sit tight, enjoy, and I'm sure that all these matches are gonna be really hype.
No, yeah, I'm real excited about it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking here, I want to just take a look. We got about 16 attendees, but this is an interesting one because as the seating was starting to develop towards the end here, we have some killers that just joined. Particularly, I want to bring attention to Joe Crush. Joe Crush is here right now. Joe Crush being, I think, the Jack 8 player. Yes, the Jack player, who's like obviously sensational worldwide. They're a top 8 player. They play for Paragon, which is also the same team that FDX is in. So wow, Paragon and their Tekken love. But Joe Crush is here. So while I myself am not too familiar with all of Jack 8's stuff, do know that Jack 8 is quite a monster in this game. He's pretty strong. And we're gonna just to see how everyone stacks up, not only against the matchup, but against someone who's so seasoned and well trained at Tekken. You know what I'm saying? Like, because in Tekken, like, your skill sort of scales with, the time invested. This game is very deep, very in depth. There's no expectation to learn it right away, but yeah. But yeah, so that's why. So people who are learning Tekken, if there's going to be a lot of information overload, no sweat. But this is a great place to actually get the ability to witness some top level play where people are going to be really ready to take on some stuff. So that's why for Mau Mau here, there's going to be a lot to watch and a lot of things to take on from watching this event.
I did want to actually piggyback off of a quick little mention you made earlier. You said Joe Crush, Paragon, right? Same team as FDX, and you did mention another thing earlier about how Tekken 8 has been, you feel like it's more in the public eye, I guess, more mainstream, if you will. And I feel like if anybody else has been also following the scene a little bit, you've probably seen the whole FDX into box what's it called, pipeline, and how pretty much that whole community is now on board with fighting games thanks to box and all offline TV getting into it. So I'm really excited in terms of what that means just for the overall talent level of Tekken. Like it just means way more eyes are on it, which means way more people and way more sickos in a positive way, by the way, not derogatory, but sickos who are gonna go into the lab and find new tech for us, so I just want to mention that real quick. Real excited about that. But back to Joe Crush. I hate Jack, and man, I sure hope I hate him even more after seeing his game. So
Yeah, we'll see. I think the perception is that Jack, what was it, is because Jack received the first set of nerfs this game ever got, but that's because Jack had some really high damage wall stuff. But as the game is developing, I think there's potentially more belligerence from other characters, so people's opinions of Jack are going down. But that's in Jack's favor, because as soon as people's opinions of your character start to like go like, oh, you know, they're good, but like, you know, they're not crazy, that's when they'll sneak up on you, and people will stop practicing that matchup as much, and then you'll just be able to ride that train. I mean, if they know Joe Crush is coming, then of course they're going to be like, oh man, I have to trade for that Jack matchup. But I just think what we're going to witness here is some stuff that we may not be able to see other Jack 8s, you know, take advantage of. And we're going to definitely see a lot of players here who are going to go up against Joe Crush for the first time, and I think at least for the first game going to be absolutely blindsided. But you never know, there might be someone who's gonna make some like crazy upsets, or maybe they're very familiar with the matchup. In Tekken 8, in my opinion, as long as you've got the reaction speed and the good gameplay on your end, if you have a really strong understanding of the matchup, you would definitely have the advantage. You get rewarded for doing your homework in this game, which I like. I like that you're rewarded for putting a lot of time into this game. And I think that's why, again, back to the public eye thing, I think that's what gets people excited. We have all these tools for people to learn from. People are wanting to put more time into it. And I've never seen, from a Tekken 8 community perspective, such a divide in terms of, and it's not a bad divide, but just like of people who are experienced, seasoned, and playing since, like, you know, whether it's casually or not casually, since like the early Tekkens, to people who have like never touched a fighting game, are coming into Tekken 8 and are having a blast learning it, and also learning for the first time the struggles that every fighting game player has to deal with, like king grabs, or I forgot this game is 3D, how do I sidestep, you know? So I think that's great. Beating up on Jack is like hearing the falling metal pipe sound effect. Yeah, I love it. That's why I like hitting Jack. It sounds funny. So yeah, we're still taking a little bit to get these matches sorted out. I will say, like I said, there's ups and downs to this game, right? The gameplay mechanics are really fun, but adding people to lobbies and getting into games as well as spectating should definitely be worked on, especially like because every PS5 is built the same, right? I hope, but every PC isn't. So when you do spectating and someone's PC is a little behind, or one that's spectating, it has to play a game of catch up. And I'm like, I've never seen a spectating thing that has done that before, you know? Like, I would rather at least have like that than have super speed gameplay. Have you ever seen the spectate client, Mamo?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, it's the spectate. Whenever we spectate, like me and my boys, we go into the lab, right? We're in our lobby, and then like I'm trying to just sit here. I'm like, oh, I want to see them go for 3 rounds in a row in this first to 3 like lobby, right? The lobby set up for that. By the second and third matches, I'm sitting there playing catch up on 5 times speed, and I'm like, I really wish I could have said something about this move right here, but I couldn't tell you what was going on around it or describe the situation because it's just going so fast. It's just, yeah, no, it needs some work. We need an update for that for sure, for like soon, especially since they like introduced the new lobbies too, right? With Tekken 8, how like there's like the extra slot, right? If I'm remembering this correctly, there's like an extra slot specifically for events like this, where you have a bunch of players come in and out of the lobby, and then you you know, you got one person in for spectate, and yeah. You got all this util for quality of life, but it's like, how can we use it if we can't even get into the lobbies properly or even use them properly?
Yeah, no, I do definitely want to see these quality of life changes, because this game, as Tekken 7 showed, is going to have longevity. You get rewarded for sticking with this game, because also this game's lifespan is going to be expansive. They're already finding ways to monetize things as of now. It's not going to get any better. And if it's here for 10 years, like every other, like, I think what's happening is even games that you purchase at your GameStop from Amazon or something, game companies are trying to mold them into like live service style foundations, right? So that's why we're seeing battle passes, we're seeing all this stuff, right? But the game's gonna last a long time. Same with like all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know why I brought up that how the game's gonna last long, but whatever. Nonetheless, that's right. It's gonna last long. So I want to see these quality of life changes. Like, you know what they just did? They added a quit button on PC. Let's go. It took 2 months, but we got it. That's why I brought that up.
I
All the
mean,
food could be fit
look,
normally.
I mean, at least me personally, with the way Tekken 8's been, uh, ever since release, you know, a couple months now. But yeah, no, it's like gameplay wise, just thinking about the gameplay itself. This is
Mhm.
something that I can see myself, along with others in the community, sticking around for a while. Because again, the gameplay loop, everything about the gameplay and what you can learn from it, uh, not only as a fighting game player, but someone completely new to fighting games, the things. It's just pretty much an unlimited game, right? With unlimited
Mhm.
content for the player to get to learn essentially. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, right? Like I said, the gameplay and everything about the game, there's so much to come back to, but it really drives down that replayability, I guess you could say replayability. Whenever, like, again, the quality of life like a lot of quality of life aspects are just not really just there, you know? And again,
Yeah.
back to the lobbies. Like, I feel like I would be playing a whole lot more just not match made if lobbies were just easier to be made.
Yeah, I think like if you find a grind server, right? Because I understand ranked is kind of frustrating for some, right? But if you get it like a grind server and the lobbies are good, then it's chilling, right? You can like kind of play and vibe. But you're right, the gameplay loop of Tekken 8, I don't know what it is, but maybe the aggressiveness of it too. It's extremely satisfying. So I see
Hmm.
why like it keeps bringing it back. And like there's two types of games in my opinion. I have a backlog of games that are in this situation where it's like single player narrative or something like that. Dude, I don't
Yep.
spend enough time on those because I'm so addicted to like playing those games where there's like a ranked ladder or like addictive competitive gaming, like kind of game loop. And Tekken fits that bill so well. That's why so many people are not only enjoying it, but they're practically hooked on it. They're playing it so much. So I don't know. I don't blame people though. This game was made to be very replayable, very enjoyable. I'm very hopeful for the May patch because May is where they're actually making balance changes to characters, where we might see underplayed characters like Leroy be better. Where Victor, hopefully, my opinion, as a Victor main, he gets nerfed to the point where he's valuable and cool because of his kit and not because of his ramage. I want that to happen. And if we see that change in May, which is way faster, by the way, than Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 had to deal with like JP and all that for so long, right?
And
we
they,
see
they,
that
they
change, it would
even
be
said
nice.
that they weren't gonna update for a year, right? And then they like finally buckled and gave us something of an update in Street Fighter.
Yeah, after the big tournament, they were like, maybe crouching medium punch on Luke is a bit egregious,
Yeah.
maybe JP's. I played Street Fighter 6 a little bit when it came out, but then Tekken 8 showed up, and I was like, this was my
You
main
too.
game. Like, I was not a I dabbled in Street Fighter, but I was mainly a Tekken guy. So when the Switch happened, yeah, which is funny because some people will always want to pit two products together, like, oh, Street Fighter versus Tekken, which also I wish that game was real, the other way around.
Yep. Yeah.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out now because then people would like it. But I think Street Fighter 6 is also a fantastic game. We're just in a great place where the gameplay loops and the game's production qualities are at an all-time high. It's just that execs are just like, man, how can we like add more cosmetic stuff? How can we just, because some people will be like, well, cosmetics, right? Like you don't have to get them, but there's something very human called FOMO. And so they're going to capitalize on that. So there's a give or take. Our fighting games right now have really interesting mechanics, really cool visual design, a lot of attention, detail, and care. But then there's some other things. These are the kind of conversations we have when we wait for matches, bro. Which goes back to lobby system, finding key players, getting them in here, and assuming that gets addressed too, then we can smoothly come in here. But we're starting now. From what it sounds like, we're going to get into a match quite soon. Yeah, I'm just thinking here. Well, like, once I see some gameplay, then into it. Oh, right now, both of these players are Tekken gods, by the way, from what I can see from the stream. We have a Haorong and an Azusen. I can't tell you anything about Haorong, but I sure can tell you sure can tell you what I can say about Azucena. They're very straightforward. We recently had a patch. I'm not actually aware if the patch came now, but they did make another additional change to, what is it? An additional change to Azucena. I'm trying to find it. You cast if you see gameplay, Mao Mao, can you cast for me for a second? I need to find gameplay to see.
I also cannot see the gameplay.
Let me refresh this. Did it freeze? Stream?
It would look like it.
Hola. Okay, all right, I guess we're back. That was going to be a match between the Azucena and the Hwoarang, but the gameplay here, I think we're having some technical issues right now. Just getting the gameplay set up and everything like that. And I think, again, I have no idea if that was Tekken or if that was something on our end, which caused the gameplay not to start. Hopefully they're not in the middle of a match as we're just chilling. Because sometimes, another thing, too, I'd like to comment is when you ever get, if you ever tried to spectate, have you ever been, because of the thing where the, maybe the PC or something from each district, they're all different, like, PC builds, so you just get booted out of spectating. Has that ever happened to you? I hate that.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I gotta ask my boys to put up like their own thing on Discord, but then when that happens, it can cause slowdown with them because if they're playing against someone East Coast versus West Coast, you have some issues. So
yeah, no, yeah. That's a what's it called? That exact like bug or problem with the lobbies is exactly why me and my boys stopped using lobbies and we started just going into the lounges and sitting at the the eights, like the set of 8 like cabinets that you could just sit at and like it'll match you, right? We would just start sitting in there all together, like fuck it, we'll just let the game match make us in between our group for, I guess, first to 2, but because like it's just annoying. I'm sorry. I can't think of what to say because like I'm starting to get irrationally angry at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, why is it whenever I'm in the middle of this, I'm just trying to watch like two of my friends who play completely different characters from me, right? Completely different play styles. I'm trying to learn how they play so that I can beat them. And then I can't even do it in like the little bit of downtime in between like ranked matches or whatever that I do get to sit in there with them, Like, again, back to the whole Tekken, you got something good going for the gameplay, but I swear there's so many other things that make me go, I don't know how much longer I want to keep going today.
Yeah, the honeymoon phase has definitely faded for Tekken 8 in terms, and I still always believe that the game is very good, but there's some stuff. I just need to see some gameplay right now, man. That's what I'm up for. But
that's true. I also want to see gameplay right now.
I wanted to comment. I wanted to actually see Azucena while running 3-2 in action and see if it actually got changed, because I saw that there was the little patch that updated, because in their attempts to fix Azucena while running 3-2 before, they made it like really hard to punish because she flew so far. And now it's like, okay, great. I guess they're not like plus on block or whatever, and now I can't evade it, but I can evade it only for us to have enough space between each other again. I can't counter hit you, and now you'll just do it again. So what's the point? So not a Tekken talk without Harada. Yeah, we're not trying to shill products too. Like, yo, check out our Tekken pants, our Tekken all those. This kind of look fire. I'm not gonna lie. like our Tekken stuff. Oh, here's a Tekken figurine. And
What I would do for
we'll be
the
able to plug her through,
for
promise.
King's Tekken 3 fit.
Oh, dude, the Tekken 3 fit. Dude, I just played new characters, so I don't have any like legacy outfit I'm looking for. We got the Nina one though, that was sick.
I'd see. I only button mashed Eddie, like all the way to now.
Oh, Eddie played
His release this week. Yeah, no, I picked him up this week because of his release, and I was like, what's it called? Again, right? That's my, I guess you could say, my legacy character, and like, man, he just feels so good. I don't know about how actual good Eddie's would feel about it, but as someone who went from forward 3 plus 4 3 plus 4 3 plus 4 3 plus 4 spam in Tekken 3 to whatever we got now, it feels good. It really feels good. It definitely doesn't feel as stupid as way back when you could just button mash one string over and over, and if the other person on the other side has never played Tekken, you should be fine.
Oh, we still like have that, bro. No, we still have that. He still has.
Oh, really? I need to find it then. That's what I'm hearing.
He has a thing where you do a launch and you mash 3 for 61 damage, which is actually like considerable decent damage. Like it's actually, he still has those like autoplay elements.
Yeah.
But, he's a bit more complex otherwise with greater mix, but with worse strings. But they also, I remember what I told you about Tekken 8. In Tekken 7, everyone had a push and pull. They had a strength and a weakness. In this game, what's a weakness? No one has one. He has a down forward 1 now, which tracks to stepping. And then he had this problem where he could heat dash off of things, which they patched out. And then there was one other thing that was pretty egregious. Oh yeah, they gave him a hell sweep, because like, why not? When his feet glow, they gave him a hell sweep, which is like, okay, we're already anxious about dealing with Eddie block pressure because half the things he's doing are very hard to read because he's like doing capoeira, and now you gave him a unreactable low. Thanks. Yeah.
Excuse me, you telling me there's a hell sweep? Did I miss that in the move list when I was going through it? What the?
I think it's like when his feet glow, but I'm not an expert, so people in chat can correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of this is just what I'm seeing. I don't really, when I fight against Eddie, I fight against him quite often. My best friend's an Eddie. I have to like look at what Eddie does though. I just like kind of like block his stuff, and then like I told you, I play my game. Also, yeah, Joe Crush might be a bit, I think, is what I'm gathering here, because I think right now we're going to be seeing 5-4 versus Joe Crush, which is amazing because 5-4 was the winner of many of the past like King of New York events. In fact, that's how I met him, and we're like kind of, you know, we're cool now, right? And it's like a phenomenal Victor that you'll see, but up against Joe Crush, who's a Jack player, and a Victor versus Jack, to me, I actually don't know. I don't think it leans to any matchup in particular. I mean, Jack is pretty bulky, but
man,
like,
I was hoping you would say Jack wins that one, because I feel really bad about that matchup personally on my Victor. So
I'm gonna be honest, man. Victor's pretty busted. I think Victor's like, if someone who plays Victor a lot, I'll tell you what his bad matchups are, in my opinion. I think it's characters that are like Nina, where they can like, or like in some ways Lars, in some ways Leo. It's characters that get up in your face and don't, like Noctis, right? You get up in your face, they don't let you breathe, and then they have a lot of attacks where they high crush, so they go low to the ground, like Xiaoyu too, because his power crush is a high, and that's a big important part of his gameplay. He wants to steal his turn back. He wants to always stay in advantage, but characters that can do a string, and then he tries to power crush, and they go whoopsie, and then duck underneath it, big problem for him. I don't see Jack doing that. I don't think Jack is going to do that, so Jack will have to deal with Victor's pressure up front, but then also Jack is like really good at corner carry, putting you in the corner, making you guess, lots of hard knockdown moves, frame 10 heat smash, like yeah, if you breathe, it's like Noctis. If you are very aggressive, where you are fast at buttons and you're in Victor's face, he has a horrible time dealing with it. If they also know how to get around that power crush, and on top of that power crush still, I mean, you can out frame it if you really have to. So that's like his biggest weak, like with for example Dragonov, right? If you're just doing like check pressure, like jab this, like, it's a parry. So if he reads that, he can have an out and he'll throw you in the corner. Victor doesn't really have that. So I think if we see like Victor versus a Nina or a Leo, or like maybe not a martial law, but maybe something similar, right? Like Anything that's really in his face, problematic. Jack, I don't know. Throw them. Yeah, not everyone can break all throws. You'd be surprised. People are getting really good at breaking throws now, but you're right. Not everyone can break throws.
there's a Tekken.
Oh, Victors, yeah,
Tekken.
Victors don't know how to break throws. You're right.
Oh, Victors don't know. Okay, that's actually I can't break throws. That's pretty on point, actually.
Say I break every 1+2 grab ever thrown at me. If you throw generic at me, I'm not breaking.
It's over.
Victor slander. I'm a Victor main. I will slander my own main. I don't even care. I think I love the gameplay loop and the kit. I hate how broke. Okay, you know what? I was waiting to see how long it will take before I brought this up. Okay, dude, screw up 1+2 in heat. I've been saying that I like what that move does for getting me out of situations and for making things safe. It shouldn't. I ain't breaking twos either. 5-4. You ever fight Cypher and then you get 2 grabbed by Jin all the time and you're like, man, no, but like that move shouldn't just like kill people. Like I've had situations where like I got hit by a heat engager. I did. They're running in. I know they're gonna press. I press up 1+2 and I win. I don't just take advantage back. I just win. In May, that move has to go. I don't care. I love Victor, but that move has to go. Like
I agree, actually. No, I agree.
It has to go. And then what else is another thing that should... Some people are like, oh, his while running 2 needs a change. I like what his while running 2 does for his gameplay, where he's +5 and he gets advantage. I don't know why it has to counter hit launch. Like, that is also something where I'm like, did he need that? But then everything else he kind of should have, because otherwise there are weaknesses to his gameplay, and yeah. It's okay if you can't break. So here's the thing. You're at Pacifist says it's okay if you can't break throws unless you main king. Then I'm making fun of you. This is very true. Every time I fight a king in ranked, I just want to grab them. That's my whole game plan. It's not even to win. It's just to jab check them and tick throw them over and over again, so they know how it feels. Played Dragunov too. I have the replay saved, man. I broke every single Shining Wizard. I broke every chain throw, but at every opportunity, Mario Party time. I made him guess, and every guess was wrong, and I felt so good. And he didn't plug, but I felt like he was on the borderline of considering it. Like,
what's it called? Speaking of King, I did want to say earlier that every circle of Tekken players has that one King player that kind of forces them to go, you know what? Fine, fuck it. I'm gonna go put all the throws on random now. I'm gonna lab every single cancel in his kit right now. I can't deal with it anymore. There's definitely a King in every circle like that force. Now the real question is, how many of us have actually gone in and actually labbed it? Is like, you know, I guess the real answers to that, but you definitely felt that, you know what I mean? You feel like, I want to get better at this, and then guess what? You're up against your next King, and
not every King is the same.
Big swing. Yeah, that's true. Some of them will cheese with the different things and like throw you off, because like mentally you'll be like scared for your life from the way the other King played, but then this one plays a little bit differently.
Like more poke
so
heavy,
then like the rhythm's, you know, off.
Yeah, that's another joy about like Tekken 8 compared to other. Okay, well, Tekken 8 might be the first Tekken where if you see a character, they probably will play as you would expect them to. But Tekken historically has always been one where if they play a certain way, you're like, that player may not play the same way with that character again, or like when you queue up with another one. And that's the joy of Tekken. And I feel like this game still holds that to an extent, but there are just some characters that play themselves, so they're just like, all right, go for it, and they all play similarly. But in this case, like, you know, when you fight a King, I fought Kings that don't know how to block. They're not sure things, but they're going for that giant swing. They're going for them shiny.
Yep.
Then I have Kings that are very reluctant to throw you and just play with good pokes. And then they throw you when you finally like have your guard down. That King to me is scarier. But then when you play them, right, like side by side, it's like, yeah, it's a world of difference, you know? Yeah, by the way, we're still waiting on Joe Crush. If I don't know if this is allowed or whatnot, but I'll just say, if I have an understanding that Joe Crush is multi-turning. So we're waiting on them to finish something in one and then come to the other. Might be a bit, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying the Herodotus Tekken talk. Which, by the way, speaking of which, did you hear what he said about like younger players in this generation joining Tekken 8 and what he thinks about them. Did you see that memo?
I don't. Well, actually, run the quote by me, because I feel like I think I know what you're talking about, but I could just be talking.
I think you do too. It's okay. So basically, this isn't word for word, but it's essentially how younger players play team-based games because they can fold the blame onto their crappy teammates, like IRL, Valor, Overwatch. So that now that they're playing Tekken 8 ranked and they really care about the JPEG. I mean, everyone cares. You can't help it. I care about my JPEG. I care about my Fujin, right? You know, what was it like? They are not into it as much because they realize, wow, I have to accept responsibility that I'm bad. That's just like, oh, you know, like, so that's like the funny thing I saw Harada type, because he's kind of right, actually. He's pretty right.
No, by all
you
means.
have to just be like, stop looking at the JPEG and start looking at the results. But it's hard, man. Tekken 8 is tough, man. Everyone wants to be like considered good in this game. The game is hard to be. It's hard, man.
See, the thing that Harada said though, like, I feel like this, like, it's just such a good quote, because like it obviously just doesn't only apply to Tekken, right? Or like, or any other single player game, I guess you could say, because like like really any game, team-based or single player, or like single competitive, right? You're like, the only way you will get better is to fully accept your faults as a player, right? To fully go to stop coping and stop going, well, that I was supposed to counter here, I threw this here, and it's like, no, what happened? Yes or no? And then just like, you know, leave it at the result, right? Like you said, like, look at the results. It's like there's just like I don't know. I don't want to say something controversial and then like get like a bunch of like 14-year-olds in my DMs, but like, I feel like kids, just like younger players in general, from my experience, just don't have, or just tend to lack the capacity to fully accept their faults in their gameplay. And I speak of this from experience. You know what I mean? Like, was there a point in time when you were in your video game playing career and like you had an immense amount of coping, and then like now looking back, you're like, damn, if I just stopped coping about this game, I would have gotten better. You know, like I would have just put my nose to the grindstone and I would have gotten better immediately, instead of like, I swear I'm doing all this. I swear. It's because this guy keeps flashing me out of this opening in CS or whatever, right? So
yeah, it's I can't remember who told this to me, but it was like, every game has its BS. It's about which one are you willing to put up with the most. Now, when you're like, oh man, I was coping really hard, I should have just buckled down and did that. There's only one exception to that rule. The exception to that rule is, does the thing you're trying to lab against, is it genuinely unfun and not even worth labbing against? Because if that's the case, then maybe move to a new game. I was like that with, where definitely I could have in the past been like, man, I probably could have like labbed that and got better at it. I'm gonna use an example from another game, but like, I can't be bothered to learn. This is Smash Ultimate. I can't be bothered to learn the min-min matchup. It's unfun. I don't enjoy it. Labbing it seems like it's not enjoyable for me. I'm not gonna get it, because a video game's about enjoyment, right? I'm not gonna get enjoyment out of labbing this. I'm not gonna get enjoyment out of doing this, because it just completely warped the way things played. I think when it, at the very least, you're still playing Tekken. Everyone's trying to play a little bit of Tekken. You know, Akuma and Geese, they did not play Tekken. They played something else. But they are like, what is it? At least in this game, they're kind of playing. So for example, a matchup I don't like. Actually, like, I'm down to fight pretty much anyone in this game, but I personally don't like Alyssa. That's also because I haven't spent the time labbing Alyssa, and I feel like if you do, at the end of the day, the game is still similar to what it should be, right? And that's right. So let's say I was trying to be a competitive player here, and like I was entering these tournaments. Oh, there's Joe Crush. But like, what is it? You try to like enter all these tournaments, and you do find the game enjoyable, and you do want to lab that. You should put the time in. You should figure that out. You should learn it. So yeah, the cope. You don't let the cope fool you, man. You know.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
No, yeah.
A lot of destruction. Damn, Joe Crush is so good. Joe Crush is like profile. They all, you know how it's like main and sub for like your titles. They all say stream.
Yeah.
He has almost a full pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like, you know, like the pentagon of like, here's your stats. I don't even know if that means anything. but it's like almost fully maxed out, like on all things, with appeal being the biggest. Which I mean, as a Jack player, I guess the appeal makes sense. I think isn't appeal like how you can
It's like variety of moves and stuff
variety,
like
yeah.
that, along with like whether or not you use certain, like if a move like shit, let me think of, oh, as you send a down back 3+4, right? Like how there's like a little
Oh,
dodge, I guess you could say, where
oh
she
yeah, they're like
push goes backwards, right? Like if you use like, I guess, evasive moves too, like that,
you're
to
cool
evade.
looking.
Yeah, it looks cool and stuff like that. I don't remember if it's exactly part of that category too, but I do know that rematching is under a specific skill
Respect,
called respect.
respectful.
Yeah. I don't know which one. I know
Not
it's under
respectful.
appeal or spirit. It's one of the two for sure.
Actually, I am considered respectful, which is weird because I have sometimes with people's bad connection, I've been like,
Oh,
I
look, I don't want to get into the whole should you be allowed to one and done.
yes, you
However,
should. Yes, you
I
should. That's my opinion.
yeah, no, I was gonna say,
I'm gonna be
however,
dating a
I'm gonna
pro
stop
into
right
the
here
game.
and just say we should, especially if your connection fucking sucks. I
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit there on fucking delay or even terrible rollback for the worst gameplay of my life to lose ranked points just
they're hard to
because
get.
I didn't want to be not respectful in this game. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it.
Like the thing about Tekken inherently, which a lot of people also struggle with, is honesty. Like, and I have to make this very clear. This is really important because Smash players have this problem where they want to play honestly because they think that there's something cool about being honest when you play. Bro, these games aren't made to be played honestly, bro. Like everybody in this game is juiced to the max. Everyone in this game has dumb cheese. Everyone in this game is like silly. You should be doing your silly thing, and no one's gonna play respectfully. So don't expect people to also rematch you respectfully. They're not. You know, they're gonna. It's just gonna. That's just how it's gonna go. Which, by the way, I actually want to address something really quick. I appreciate everyone who's been chilling here in chat with us, hanging out. We apologize for the fact that we're not really seeing any gameplay going on right now. I do hope the tournament's running smooth, but we'll be sure to get some gameplay on when we get the chance. Or just there's some technical stuff on our end that's kind of causing some problems. But feel free if you want to join in on this conversation right now as we wait to see how everything runs. Then yeah, feel free because we're just chilling. Me and Mau Mau, we're hanging out.
I did or I do just want to say that one of my favorite quotes from a fighting game was surprisingly enough, it's Street Fighter 6. It's from Street Fighter 6's World Tour, the
Nice.
World Tour mode, right? And whenever you train with Jury, at some point she tells you the whole point of a fight is to find what your opponent finds annoying and then just do it over and over until you beat them.
Yep.
And that, like, I don't know why it didn't click with me until then, but that quote, reading that, like, changed my perspective on fighting games forever. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, no, back to the whole playing honest. Like, I'm like, what am I doing trying to play honest? Trying to not use this move just because it looks cheap. Like, I'm gonna start using my cheap stuff. I should be doing that. I want to win all the time. Why don't I do that to win all the time if it works to win all the time? And here we are now. I'll play Victor. All things come in a full circle.
Yeah, no, Victor, it gets the privilege of. Yeah, I feel like you'll level up as Victor as you realize that. See, this is how I cope with it. I recognize that my character is dumb.
Yeah.
I don't downplay my character whatsoever. Victor is very obnoxious. He needs to be toned down. I want him to be like mid tier in all honesty, because I just like his kid. I just don't like some egregious stuff, right? But like, yeah, let's say you're a Victor and you don't use up 1+2. You don't use your down back 4. You don't use these are core tools that he needs to succeed. They just happen to be kind of like skewed and annoying to deal with. But if you don't use them, great, you're respectful, but you're also 0-2. So which one do you want? Do you want to lose? Or do you want to, like, you might as well just, like, and that's a big thing people are not grasping. They're like, I hate King because he's so broken and he's so disrespectful. Bro, of course he's disrespectful. His whole point is, like, he's got a ton of grabs, right? Does that mean I defend Dragunov too? No. But he's got everything he needs to win, and to do so, Actually, you know what's kind of funny? This is a hot take. I think he's less disrespectful than he leans on to be. He's just overtuned in Tekken. Like he's too good at playing Tekken. Then there's characters like
I,
Xiao Yu or Victor, something that are doing their own thing. That it's like, but anyways, it's a side point. I actually like fighting Dragunov. Is my whole argument I'm trying to make here. But he needs to be toned down too because everything he does, fighting games are they're predicated on the idea of risk reward. And right now, a lot of the SSS tiers in this game, there's no risk. It's just reward.
it's just a reward.
It's
Yeah.
just do it because why not? Yeah, where is it? You just go for it, right? Like, bang in Heat. Why not do that weird thing where like the ground shakes? You create magnitude 6 earthquakes. You know, like Azucena.
Yep.
Why not do while running 3-2? Why not do like all that? Your 1-1 into stance changes. Your down forward 1-4 or down forward 1-4, which jails and they can't crouch the second hit. Like, you know, why not play Reyna and do forward 2-2-3? Like, haha, funny. Why not play Devil Jin and do everything Devil Jin does, mainly Hell's Sweep Laser? You know, why not just entire Alyssa's kit? There, that's how I just said it. Entirety of Alyssa's kit. Just why not do it? Like, and then Jin, right? You're like, oh man, he's on the box, right? He's got to be pretty respectful. You know, he's got to be pretty cool. We love Jin. Jin doesn't get a pass either, bro. Yeah. Also, what is it? Let's. Yeah, man. It's like there's no point in trying to be honest in a game where no one's gonna show you that same level of respect. You don't get any special prize, right? Your friend, if it's your friend and they get frustrated at you, be like, sorry, bro, we should play like, you know, a shooter instead, so we can hate the enemy team for doing that instead of you hating me for doing that. You know, like, that's just how I see it. But yeah, second, it's always gonna be like silly and busted. You just have to just be like, yeah, you have to accept that and just be like, whoever I pick. Okay, let me take a look at my own tier list. I think if you want a good character, this is my opinion, that is somewhat honest, but has all the tools you need to succeed. You still have to work for it. Someone like Claudio, right? But then you're not going to get any special perks for saying like, oh, I play Claudio, you know? If you're struggling with Claudio, right, you struggle with him, and you're like, you're like, damn, why can't I win? Just know that your character does have everything you need to win, but you're just using less Parmesan. You know, like, while other characters, you just have to accept the reality that Dragunov has to use like half the brain cells, use good buttons, and he'll take it. So why not use that opportunity? I don't see why people are keyboard warriors going like, man, like this is so annoying when stopping you. Just play like that. We are still waiting for that May patch. I know it will shake things up and will make things really exciting. I'm hoping to see like buffs to Claudio, buffs to Leroy. Leroy is such a cool character design that they just like are making him pay for his sins for Tekken 8. So he's just down at the bottom. Oh,
Grandmaster of Drip for what?
For Moed, I hope Steve gets buffs where he like doesn't have to get locked into a stance all the time whenever he does some things, like make him more interesting. Because he's solid, he's just not like as solid as he could be. Also in this game, I only think there's like 6 bad characters, if anything, and not even bad, maybe 3 genuinely bad characters, and after that it's like whatever. And I don't know if you want to even call the Bears bad. I guess they are bad, but they're just like no one labs the matchup so they can get away with highway robbery. But yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see. I want to see what they do to Xiao Yu as well. I don't know. That seems like a bouncing nightmare. To me, that's my pick for best character in the game. But if you say that's not, I'm not going to disagree with you either, because I'm pretty lenient on my own opinion.
I mean, for me, I gotta take. No, I would low key take Xiao Yu. I'm not going to claim that my knowledge is better than yours, Pride, or anybody in chats, but shit, the way I see it, yeah, no, Xiao Yu has the kit and the cheese to just be top. Like there's enough cheese to where it's like you could brain dead some things, right? In the gameplay, and then like, but then there's just enough also just tools outside of the cheese that it's like, oh, did you want to play honest too? You could do that, but you know it's just way easier because you have, you know, a lot of other shit to go on to play with. And then back to we talked about this before stream actually.
I will say something really quickly. Didn't mean to cut you off, but we are going to be cutting to a break shortly. I don't know if that's going to be now or something like that, but we'll continue chatting. But just letting you know, like, we're probably going to switch to break relatively soon to address some more uh, things, quality of like for the stream, with the frozen camera and like us getting some people into a lobby. So just hang tight with us while we take a quick break here.